will be given by Watanabe Megumi-san, member of the board of directors of Slow Food International and president of Slow Food Nippon since 2019. Her contribution is titled Regenerative Tourism in the Future of Rural Communities, Reimagining Relationships Through Food.
I am not an expert in tourism at all, but I am here to talk about rural tourism as a solution, but to challenge how it's being done and to ask what regeneration should really look like on the ground from real people. To give you an overview of what's happening in rural Japan, which would give you deeper understanding of the following case histories after me. Rural revitalization is a hot topic, obviously. Governments, agencies, and influencers often see tourism as a savior of the rural revitalization. But we need to pause and ask, what role should tourism really play in the communities? Who does it serve? And what exactly are we trying to regenerate here? Is it about economic income, ecosystem recovery, or cultural revival? We must approach tourism not as a universal solution. We cannot be dependent on tourism because who knows if there's another pandemic happening in the near future. But as a tool, and ask how it can be used responsibly for both travelers and local people. So what's happening in rural Japan? It's not anything new. There are 4 main issues in summary. It's written in super aging, but it's actually depopulation. So population decline and super aging and loss of food culture and biodiversity and weakening primary industries, so like the farmers and producers. So as you can see, the depopulation is happening everywhere in Japan. So more than half of the population reside in metropolitan area, either in Tokyo, Nagoya, or Osaka. All the other area is depopulated. You can see the map on the right side. There are so many areas with like greater, like more than 0.9% of decrease in these years. And aging population, it's really drastic in Japan. You can see the aging population in Europe. It's pretty much aging as well. But if you see the map of Asia, Japan is pitch black. So we have overall numbers like 28.7% of people who are more than 65 years old. And it's a shocking number that the average age, it's average age, not the maximum age, the average age of farmers in Japan, it's 68.4 years old. It's average, you know. And the food processing facility decline is also massive. Back in the 1980, miso factories, there were 3,200 miso factories existed. But in 2022, it's 70% declined. It's less than 1,000. Same goes for soy sauce. It's more than, it's less than half now. So the local economy, so people migrating to the urban area, and those people used to buy the products from these local producers, but the people are going away, the factories are closing down, it's obvious. And there is a like statistic that says more than half of the municipalities of Japan they are endangered cities. So as you can see, the cities in red or even brighter colors, they are estimated to be disappeared in the near future. So tourism, we want to talk about tourism, but I want to start from the rural revitalization policy of Japan. So a lot of measurements are taking place for rural revitalization within the country, and especially I want to mention the word Kankei Jinko. It's translated into related population, and it was introduced as a way to describe people who develop an ongoing, meaningful relationship with a specific place, even if they don't live there. So they don't register, they are not registered resident in a certain area, but they have an ongoing relationship with a certain area. So this concept has gained traction, especially among urban Japanese who now maintain ties with rural areas through repeat visits, volunteering, remote working, or food-related connections. So they have like a plot of rice field that they can go every weekend to cultivate, things like that. And thanks to this concept, more and more urban people in Japan are forming long-term relationship with rural areas, not as residents though, but as an engaged supporters. And I believe this idea has great potential if it's extended to international visitors as well. So what if tourism wasn't just about visiting once, but becoming part of the place's extended community? So what if regeneration meant being remembered and remembering across borders? So related population isn't just a domestic idea, I think. It can be a guide for a new way of thinking about inbound tourism as well. So industrialization and mass distribution have anonymized the relationship, I would say. And it same goes for tourism. So overcrowded tourism, mass tourism, like the tourism just to like collect stamps or to collect Insta-worthy pictures, it's all anonymous, right? By opening like the communities up, opening up the producers' minds, telling stories and fostering real connections, it can be relational tourism. So I think the paradigm needs to shift from the anonymous tourism to relational tourism. And gastronomy tourism is recently gaining a lot of attention, of course, and the tourism agency of Japan has just started the supporting program for gastronomy tourism a few years back. It's a good thing, but the focus is often on events, restaurants, or a chef-driven experiences, not the producers. I am from Slow Food, and Slow Food is here to support the farmers, the producers from the ground. We have a slogan, farmers first. So many small-scale producers are kind of left behind from this narrative. And they can't host people directly or explain their work without any help. So to realize the promise of gastronomy tourism, we must bring producers from the margins to the center, the core of the gastronomy. And what kind of regeneration are we talking about? So if we say a regenerative tourism, it's often associated with like an activities that directly regenerate ecosystem or an environment, like turtle conservation, beach cleaning, that kind of activities. But it has a limit, right? Like it's a limited number of people who actually voluntarily choose that kind of experience. And regeneration should be more approachable and accessible to the visitors. But I think by empowering and by becoming an ally for the producers of the local area that support regenerative and agroecological methods is indirectly regenerating the ecosystem. So by engaging tourism in this narrative, you can actually call it as a regenerative tourism. So when tourists endorse regenerative producers, like by visiting, learning, and purchasing, they become allies. This can offer both emotional and financial support to producers. The act of visiting, if designed well, can itself be regenerative. And for small producers, I know for a fact because I have a husband that is a farmer, recognition is powerful. So they every day they touch the ground, they work on the fields. They tend to feel alone. They tend to feel like lesser so many times. But when there's somebody who visit them and give reassurance to them, it becomes a very powerful empowerment, and it means more than the financial component. So yeah, producers, especially the micro-scale ones, I'm talking about like really the vegetable farmers or rice farmers or the people who are actually on the ground working, a fisherman. Those micro-scale ones cannot host travelers on their own, obviously. They may lack language skills, time, or even confidence. They don't even know how important their work is. That's where local mediators come in. So I put the icon of mediator in the middle in the previous slide. People who know the producers in person and can translate their work into travel experience or experience, like educational experience too. These are not traditional tour guides, I think. They are value translators who are deeply rooted also in the same community of the producers. Supporting and training these people is essential for long-term success. We have been attempting some things in Japan as well. Like we have Slow Food Travel project that's active in Italy. I think you guys are aware of it. But Slow Food Nippon in Japan, we are starting a new project called Slow Sake. It's actually inspired by Slow Wine project that's been going around for years and years in Italy. The totally same concept, but with sake, because as wine, the same goes for the wine industry in Italy. The ecosystem and the irrigation system and all the rural development is based on rice cultivation in Japan. And now the average age of farmers is going up, and no young people are actually successing the industry, the rice cultivation. Sake breweries play a huge role in the villages, like the wine breweries do in local hill villages in small town, right? So they are the safeguard of the local ecosystem, local rice production, local water conservation, ritual, festivals, everything. And so we try to empower small-scale sake breweries so that the ecosystem, the local ecosystem and local culture can be nourished at the same time. So regeneration isn't about outsiders rescuing rural areas, like coming from somewhere else. It must start from the community. It's about recognizing the value that already exists and nurturing it. You will now hear from people who do exactly that, building bridges between travelers or visitors and communities in Kamikatsu in Tokushima and in Ishikawa. They are not tourism agencies, nor DMO, nor institutions like all the other examples we heard today. It's rather very, very small scale, but I thought it would give you an idea of very raw, local, community-oriented way of approaching tourism. Their work shows that regeneration begins with real local-tied relationship. So thank you, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the presentations.